Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, July 30th, and I am being distracted by a helicopter doing crop dusting. Yesterday it was a plane. This time of year here in Indiana, we see crop dusters occasionally, and they're going over the interstate. It can be a little bit distracting. And seeing a huge helicopter just fly up in the air, do a 180, and fly down the other direction gets my attention. But you're not here to hear about that. You're here to hear about Big Brother. So, let's get to it. After this brief thank you to those of you that have left me nice little reviews on iTunes. I checked them out. I hadn't looked at iTunes for a month or two, I suppose. And I saw all the nice messages that several of you have left. So thank you. I'm glad to know that I'm helping you figure out what's going on in the house. And I appreciate all of those thank yous. All right. More thank yous at the end. But right now, let's move along. Christian 1 head of household. Brent was evicted or e-voted, depending on who you are. All right, Derek? And he, I don't need to talk about Brent. Brent, either you're happy he's gone or you think he was unjustly evicted. And yes, there are people that think he was unjustly evicted. I finished my debate with some person this morning where I said, all right, we're going to agree to disagree. I'm done debating this. The episode, let's be honest, it was kind of a letdown for those of you that were hoping for a huge, amazing blindside. It wasn't that much of a blindside. It was more of a sad puppy walking out the door who refused to say that, wow, that sucked, I didn't see it coming, and said, yeah, I was a big target. Yeah, I thought it was going to happen. And then Julie tried to quiz him. I am going to try to tune into the post-interviews this time around just to see how many people, or if anyone tries to get Brent to understand why he was actually evicted. Julie didn't really do it, at least not in the direct after the eviction interview. I'm not sure what time her the follow-up interviews get posted, but it hadn't been done as of like midnight last night. I'll look today. I don't know. I thought she might say, here's a time where you were, you said this to Hannah. What do you think about that? But she didn't do any of that, so I thought she might do it today or in the follow-up. I'm not sure. I have a feeling that a couple of other people will do it when they get their chance to interview him, or they may already have. So, Brent's gone. And Christian 1 had a household. I don't know. I know I watched Derek tell Sarah Beth that he kind of threw the competition, that he was trying to help other people get it and not him, but he may have been lying too. So I'm not sure. And of course, we didn't see it. Hopefully they had more than one camera on the house guests, because we watched Derek not finish the puzzle, and suddenly the timer went off and it wasn't at 0 yet, and it looked like Christian had won it. So hopefully they have another camera angle. Hopefully they had one camera on every one and they can isolate that and show it to us on Sunday. But Christian and the Kings 1 had a household, so that means Alyssa and Xavier and Sarah Beth are safe, and we will have one team of 4 and at least one team of 2 and 2 teams of 3 when the teams break up. And it puts Whitney in peril. She seems to be the next target. She was the next target that people were saying, and it definitely seems like that is the plan, to go after Whitney, the backup person as of right now. And I don't think that will be the way everyone has in mind when it gets to that point. But the backup person currently would be Hannah. She would be the second nominee, but she is seen as more of a pawn than an actual target. know. I'm kind of torn. I don't. There's part of me that doesn't want things to go too smoothly. So I would like to see Whitney come off and make them have to make some harder choices. But I did see that last night Whitney doesn't feel that she needs to win the wild card. She will play for the wild card. Whitney and Claire will both play for the wild card. And then it sounds like Azah will play for it, like Derek wants Azah to play for it. And those are your options. There are 4 people eligible to play. Whitney and Claire basically have to because they're the other ones left from their groups. And then Azah and Derek are both eligible to play because, remember, Frenchie played in the second one. And Brittany played in the first one, right? Yes? No. They teamed up against Brittany in the first one. So Frenchie played in the first one. Brittany played in the second one. And so now either Azah or Derek F. can play in the third one or the fourth one. And he... Wait a minute. Yeah. All right, I'm shutting up now. It's Azah or... yes, Derek and Azah's going to play, I would guess. So I don't know. Maybe she'll come out of nowhere and win. But I think she wants Whitney gone too. So Whitney kind of needs to win this. And the kicker is, I don't know if Whitney will play it if she wins it. It sounds like she may feel that secure, which she's going to eat those words. But I would think that she would have an opportunity to figure out, all right, talk to Christian, say, Christian, hey, if I don't play it, I'm good, right? And if Christian says yes, and then she plays it, and she doesn't play it, and then Christian nominates her, I don't know. I would feel quite betrayed. I'd be like, look, I won't play it, but you cannot put me up. And see if Christian breaks his word. And again, I'm not sure if Christian will, or if Whitney will win it. Hannah will definitely be gunning for it. And will Hannah use it if she wins it? I don't know. And who will go up instead of Hannah if Hannah gets it and plays it? And my guess is that, well, I'm thinking it could be a Joker. I thought it could be Claire as well, but I think I may have been wrong about Claire. I think she may have enough safety from Christian that Christian's not going to target her. But I thought they might, but it sounds like they won't. So I could be Brittany again. It's possible that Brittany could end up there. We have to wait and see. Wild card will be today. Nominations will be later today. And what else? Yeah, the Kings feel pretty comfy, and they should feel comfy. To give a quick recap of Tiffany's big plan, which Big Brother, which the show has not highlighted yet, but I saw a couple of the people discussing it again yesterday, so I'll run down it one more time today for those of you that weren't listening yesterday. Tiffany came up with this plan to basically have pairs. I think Claire was kind of involved in it, except for Claire doesn't realize that Tiffany's using it to help the cookout. Where every cookout person has a pair, has a second person that's kind of their backup. So the cookout is, so you know how we've had alliances, and this has happened before, where you've had an alliance and they said, all right, you should have a backup person, from the alliance that you can get, that you're willing to get rid of. And in this case, Tiffany was like, going through all the different ones, and every cookout person, and Hannah included, whether you think she's in the cookout or not, will have their backup person and be willing to get rid of, sacrifice them in order to keep the cookout safe. And in this case, Whitney is not one of those people. Whitney is outside of that group. She's supposed to be gone before jury. That's why Whitney is the obvious choice. Hannah is one of the cookout, or the extra, the cookout plus one person. But just because of the way things are landing this week, she could end up on the block, or she probably will end up on the block. And I would imagine that wouldn't make her feel very safe. Shouldn't make her feel very safe. All right. So that's the plan would be to get to jury with the cookout plus these extra people, and then pick off the extra people with, until you're down to just the cookout. And then the cookout, Tiffany's plan is to get rid of Azah and Derek, and then the 4 last people in the cookout battle it out. Again, it's in a perfect world, that's how it would work for them, but things usually don't work out perfectly, and we may see that this week alone if Whitney doesn't go, because she is certainly the next one on the list. Tiffany did the throat cutting thing, like, you're out next, and so, yep. What else? Have-nots were assigned. Again, Big Brother has not shown have-nots since the first week. I don't think they've mentioned them maybe since the second episode. But they're still doing it in the house. And the Jokers are now the have-nots, which means that Derek and Azah and Brittany are have-nots. Right? Yes. And so they've moved up into the have-not room. Derek was power eating before it happened, so he filled up his belly before the he was told he couldn't eat anymore. That could be severely stressful on Derek. I just have a feeling that it's going to be, just because he's so worried about it, and then the uncomfortableness of sleeping in the have-not room may add the stress level, but I don't think it will affect his safety in the game. I think he's perfectly safe this week, so he just has to get through it. And then we get rid of the teams next week. We do know that next week will be an endurance competition. Julie announced it and said you'll be able to watch it live on the live feed. So this is the earliest that I recall them ever saying, you should be able to watch the endurance competition on the live feeds. Not even a question of, they'll cut the feeds. And they did bring us the feeds right back last night after the show again. So the only night we were shut down from the feeds was after the first eviction, where they kept the feeds dark. The last 2 Thursdays, they have brought the feeds back pretty much right after the show. So I don't know, again, if they figured out that they should not be shutting us out like that, or if it was how they always intended it. I'm not sure, but hey, I'm going to take some credit along with other people for yelling and screaming that the feeds needed to come back that first one, and finally getting to convince them to do it for the rest of the time. But we'll see. Next Thursday, obviously, the feed should come back right afterwards. We'll see how much they actually show us of the head of household competition. They may cut it a lot, and then we'll be furious anyways. But yeah, I don't know what kind of comp it'll be. Christian won't be able to participate. The teams will be over and done with. Should be interesting. But that's a week away. We have a whole week yet to go. So, hopefully you guys are excited. It should be a little bit more, of a game being played this week than last week, with Brent pretty much, crosshairs firmly planted, but Whitney may be going like a lamb to the slaughter without even knowing it. I thought she was worried and stressed because she had a big headache last night after the show, but maybe she was stressed out over the general gameplay. She should be very worried, though. We'll see if she gets a sense of that. I think most people are willing to let her go. I don't think she has a close ally in the house, and so this has a potential to be another slow week, but we'll see. What else? Okay, so yeah, that's the Big Brother for today. I will do another CarCast probably tomorrow, maybe tonight if something exciting happens. Maybe with the wild card competition results, we'll have to see what goes on. But bear in mind that I don't know what I was going to say. Not bear in mind. I'm moving along, Mike. Yes, with the thank yous to patrons. Had a couple of new people sign up as patrons. Well, we had one re-sign up. I think Diane. I think it was Diane. Re-upped as a patron, and Sandy signed up as a patron. So yeah, I think I'm at 24 or 25 now. It's growing. This is very cool. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. If you want to be a patron of my CarCasts and my YouTube lives, which I did yesterday, and my Twitter account, whatever you want to, you can do that. You can go to patreon.com/BBGOSSIP and sign up. You do not have to do that. I think one of the comments that someone left on iTunes was they can't afford. Of course, don't do something you can't afford to do. Somebody else did ask me in Twitter yesterday. I said something about the commercials. Yes, I do get a little bit of money From this CarCast, I use a platform called Spreaker, Spreaker, and Spreaker about, maybe it's been 2 years, but at least within the last 2 years, started offering us the option to monetize our podcasts by putting advertising. We could put advertising at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, and I just simply went with I'm putting them at the end because, and I don't pick what commercials are put on there. I just say, yes, you can add them. So everybody gets different ones. Part of it's depending on where you are regionally. I hope nobody's getting any offensive ads. I don't think they are. I've listened to them myself, and it's never been anything terrible. But anyways, those ads at the end, those are tacked on there by Spreaker. And if you listen to them, I do get a little bit of income out of that. So yes, you're helping me out just by doing that. So for those of you that are like, oh, I don't want to be a patron, or I can't be a patron, or I want to be a patron but I can't, look, I appreciate it, but no, do not extend yourself financially on my part. There's no need to do that. Just share it. If nothing else, get some of your friends to listen to it, or just listen to it. That's good too. I appreciate everything. This is not my livelihood. This is a hobby. This is a side thing I do. So, yeah, I'm not like some people that I think are dependent on this income. But it does make it easier for me to do it, and it does soften the blow, as I've said on my Patreon with my wife. When I say, here, we're buying this because of the patrons. Here, have this bottle of wine. Here, have these pictures of us getting married by Elvis. So, anyways, thanks, guys. I am now at work, and I will check out of here. Have a good day. Have a good weekend if you don't listen all the time. And those of you that are new, welcome, and thank you for listening. And we'll talk to you guys either later today or tomorrow. All right? See ya. Bye-bye.